Shalom Akim. First off, all praises goes to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty. The hopeful elect throughout the four corners of the world. And Brother Kwara Allah, through the Spirit, I'm coming back with a quick lesson based on the winter the snowstorm that happened in Texas. Well, it's mainly Texas was Texas has the most information on it, but it was more other countries, Mississippi and other areas. Probably get into that later. But real quick, I'm start off with Isaiah 29:6. All right. So book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 6, says, "Thou shalt be visited," all right, "of the Lord, punished by, shall be visited or punished by, of the Lord of hosts, with thunder and with earthquakes and great noise." All right, thunder and earthquakes and a great noise. Now, these things happen. You have storms, earthquakes, whirlwinds, tsunamis, natural disasters, they call it, which is really a visitation from the Lord or a punishment from the Lord. All right, that falls upon these different nations, including the chosen nation, the nation of Israel. All right, and it says, "And with earthquakes and great noise, with storm and tempest." All right, storm and tempest. Which what happened recently was the snowstorm that hit Texas and other parts of the U.S. All right, people lost power, lost electricity. All right, lost heat. Okay, people froze to death. It didn't matter the age. It didn't matter the sex. All right, people froze to death, starved to death. All right, it says some people were barely rescued. It says, "And the storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire." All right, and we have those wildfires. All right, that happened in the summertime. Okay, and that, you know, these are ways that the Lord visits these places, man. So the Lord, when you see all these so-called natural disasters, just know that it's the Lord. It's in the Lord's hand that sanctioned these things to happen. All right, and that ultimate flaming, devouring fire is going to be those thermonuclear missiles. All right. Let's see, Isaiah 45. Let me jump from there to Isaiah 45:7. It'll always be a quick lesson, hitting a few points, and I'm gonna wrap it up through the Spirit. It says, "I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things." All right. "I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil." Right, man. Now, all these things were sanctioned from the Most High. The Most High sanctioned all these things to happen. Light, day, okay. The moon, the sun, darkness, peace. Okay, a sunny day, a nice sunny day. You see the rainbow. You know, go out with the kids or whatever. And then evil. All right, kids freezing to death. You freezing to death. All right, your home's destroyed. all right, pipes bursting, all right, your lives being turned upside down. It says, I, the Lord, do all these things. Okay? Scriptures talk about, if you lose your life for the Lord's sake, then you find your life. But a lot of people lost your lives for your own, wicked ways. All right? Your own gains. All right? People work their lives off to reach a certain height, and then just like that, a storm takes that all away. All right, you lose your property, lose your land, lose your jobs. Okay, some cases the electricity bill skyrocketed. All right, and people even died. Now, Scripture says if you die for the Lord's sake, or lose your life for the Lord's sake, you shall find life. Now, if you give up these worldly things and focus more on the Lord and doing the Lord's will, all right, and the Lord's going to take care of you. All right, but and even if you die for the Lord, all right, then that's an honorable death. All right, and when you understand death, you understand it's just a rest. Okay, because your spirit goes back to the spirit world, but after a time it comes back down in a new body. All right, so ultimately, the ultimate rest is when we get those spiritual bodies, those celestial bodies. Okay, but that's just besides the point. But it's all the spirit. I'll move on. I'm bring out Matthew 24 and 21. I feel like this scripture has to come out also. Just bear with me real quick. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And that's going into that's in this present time, that's going into what Esau or the government, all right, or the elites, all right, the elites of Esau, the so-called white man, biblically is Esau, but the elites of them, the ones in charge, the international banking family, the ones that pull the strings, all right, what they're about to unleash on the nation of Israel, all right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which they're already in the midst of doing. It's going to be something unlike you've ever heard of or seen. Okay, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And that's going into Jacob's trouble. That's going into Jacob's trouble. All right, and also the final days we're living in. All right, the final days we're living in. Okay, because some people say the storm was man-made. All right, which it very well could be, because Esau has that technology. Okay, but whether it was man-made or the Lord just did it, it don't matter, because when you read Psalm 17 and 13, it speaks about the wicked being used as a sword for punishment. All right. It says, for then, but let me read this again. Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And what happened in with this snowstorm is something that never happened before. And one of the reasons that's coming out that may have happened is because of global warming. All right. Now whose fault? Would if this is because of global warming, whose fault would that be? All right. Who's destroying the ozone layer? Okay. That'll be Esau. All right. That's why Scripture says. That's why Scripture said there be none left to be saved. When you go up a couple verses. Now I'm gonna get one more script, and I'm gonna end it there. I basically hit all the points I want to hit. I'm gonna get one more script. This is 1 Thessalonians. I'm bugging out. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 3. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, all right, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And the thing with especially with Texas, all right, Texas does not expect that kind of weather, so Texas was not prepared for a snowstorm on this level. All right, so they thought peace and safety. All right, they thought these other countries may have to worry about snow, but they figured it wouldn't get so bad for them. But the Lord threw them a curveball. All right. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. And that's equivalent to how the Lord is coming back. All right. When you least expect it. Okay. When you least expect the Lord to come back, that's when he's coming back. All right. And you're not going to be prepared for it. Okay. Mainly the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you're not going to be prepared for it because you ain't trying to get right with the Lord. You ain't trying to do the Lord's will. All right, you try to live in folly and wickedness and according to Esau. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman. All right, upon a woman with child. Going into labor pains and so on and so forth. Okay, and they shall not escape. Look at what travail says, labor pains. All right. So a lot of things are taking place. This is one thing that was unexpected. Another thing that was unexpected that happened was the COVID happened. All right. And a lot of these things were unexpected to a lot of people. But starting with the apostles and elders of GMS, they always taught this. Okay. It's also an article I was going into earlier. Real quick. It says winter storm map updates as polar vortex pummels vast swathes of U.S. All right, nearly 160 million Americans were under some sort of winter weather alert on Monday, according to the National Weather Service, and more bad weather expected. So the Lord's kind of letting loose. All right, such a great swathe of the country is affected that weather maps over the weekend displayed unbroken winter storm warnings for 2,000 miles from border to border, while more than a third of the country experienced below zero temperatures. All right, so a lot of things are happening that never happened before. So we're living in a time of, things happening You can expect the unexpected, basically. All right. Emergency declarations are currently in place in at least 7 states: Alabama, Oregon, Oklahoma, Kansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, and Texas. So it wasn't just Texas that was feeling the heat, or in this case, feeling the cold, but it was all these different states. All right. So but that one say all praises goes to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Kakwadash, double honors the apostles and elsewhere millstone. Salutations to Akhmat, pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty. The hopeful elect. Shalom.